Okay, so if you run a UK business, there's a good chance that you're leaving money on the table with your bank. You've got cash parked for paying suppliers, VAT and corporation tax, and it's just sitting there earning almost nothing. And when you try the fintechs like Wise, you do get the modern experience and multi-currency, but they're not fully licensed UK banks with FSCS protection. So what do you do if you want both a proper UK bank and a modern multi-currency interest earning account? Well, that's where iFAST Global Bank comes in. It's not a lifestyle current account. It's a treasury layer for businesses holding meaningful balances and sending large payments. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through how it works, what it costs, the interest you can actually earn, and who should seriously consider using it.
Hi sir, I'm Serene calling from iFAST Global Bank.
I also tested their support, including a live phone call, which I'll play for you later so you can judge for yourself. iFAST Global Bank is a UK licensed bank authorized by the PRA and regulated by the FCA and the PRA. But what's interesting is who they're willing to bank. iFAST caters to UK registered companies with foreign shareholders or directors who are not based in the UK. Now, layer that on top with two major benefits. One, they're dual regulated by the PRA and FCA, so deposits are covered up to 120,000 by the FSCS. And two, you can earn interest directly on your business balances. And this is something that makes iFAST very compelling, because if your company frequently holds large sums of money, let's say 25 grand or more, they're currently offering, and this is at the time of recording, up to 3.75% on fixed term GBP deposits and over 3% on notice accounts. Now, these rates are subject to change, but they're certainly competitive in the current environment. And the iFAST SME account carries a pretty modest £5 monthly fee, which is waived entirely if your previous month's average balance is over 10 grand. So any interest you can earn becomes pure upside and not just a way to cover the costs of the account. And for larger corporates, it's £10 per month, which is waived for accounts with an average balance of over 20,000, and these tiers are aimed at either businesses under or above £7 million in annual revenue. So digital onboarding is free, but if your structure requires manual review, there's a one-off fee. And on the payment side, faster payments and local payments in and out of the account are free, which is great, as well as inbound chaps, and both Swift and chaps outbound have a flat £25 fee. And that flat fee model for Swift is important because unlike percentage-based FX models where the fee scales the more you send, with iFAST, it doesn't scale with the transaction size. This is built for payroll, tax reserves, and supplier payments. You know, the type of transactions that can run up in the tens or hundreds of thousands. Cash withdrawals are free. You can also have up to 3 users on the account at no extra cost, and there is no arranged overdraft. So if the account balance falls below £10,000 for SMEs or £20,000 for corporates, an account maintenance fee of £5 and £10 respectively will apply. Ultimately though, none of these features or fees will matter if the platform doesn't actually work. So let's log in and look at the account itself and how it works across both desktop and mobile. Now, onboarding was straightforward and fully digital. After verifying my company information, I received an email with first-time login details. I did have a little difficulty logging in. The one-time password kept failing, but that turned out to be entirely my fault, and this is so silly. But I was copying and pasting the OTP, which can sometimes break the formatting, and once I entered it manually, just everything worked, which again was rather embarrassing because I had emailed their support and complained about it, but to give them credit where it's due, they were patient with me and really quick to respond. So once inside, the first thing you're going to notice is that this feels secure. There are multiple layers of authentication, and because iFAST supports both desktop and mobile access, you can authenticate browser logins using your phone. When you get into the desktop, you get this overview of your balances with each currency sitting underneath the same umbrella account, and you can view those details by clicking here. You can also see the standard interest rate applied to operational balances, which is also quite impressive. So even money sitting in these standard current accounts earns interest. So you don't have to lock it away to get a return. But if you do want greater returns, then you can click here where it says applied deposit. And this is where it becomes really clear that iFAST leans into this treasury positioning. There are multiple savings options across different currencies, and we can see them all here. And there are no maximum deposit limits, which is really quite rare. And by clicking apply now, you can open one of these accounts in seconds. One other product worth calling out is client money accounts. iFAST offers these for regulated firms that need to segregate client funds from operating money, for example, law firms. And this is relatively uncommon among many fintech-based business accounts. I've gone and put a link in the description box to their website with more info on this and some other stuff if you want to dig into the details. The mobile app is really well designed, and something I noticed early on is that the security notifications are pretty frequent, and not in a bad way. You're just being alerted when something important happens, such as requesting a new debit card or logging in from a new device. And if you use a smartwatch like me, you can even receive alerts there, which I think is a really nice touch. The debit card itself is great. There are no card numbers printed on it for security, and instead your details are available in the app or on desktop. And you can also freeze the card, set limits, and importantly choose which currency wallet is debited when the card is used. That's actually really useful in practice, because let's just say you hold both USD and GBP. You can direct USD transactions to settle from your USD balance rather than forcing an FX conversion. It's going to save you money on fees. Now, if we go back into accounts and on mobile, select payment within IGB. Here we can exchange currencies internally, and I really want to show you this so we can look at the exchange rates we're getting. Now, when converting, for example, GBP to USD, you're shown the exchange rate up front. There's no separate FX fee and the margin is embedded into the rate. And I compared iFAST rates at the time of recording against the mid-market rate, and this is roughly what I found. In my research, spreads appear to range between 0.15 and 0.40%, depending on the corridor. EUR and SGD are particularly tight, while JPY and CNY were slightly wider, which is typically due to volatility. But importantly, there's no fixed fee for internal currency conversion, just the embedded spread. And given that this account can be effectively free once you meet the balance thresholds, those FX margins are very competitive for a licensed UK bank. It's not mid-market, but it's definitely a lot better than certain traditional banks. And if you are already thinking about opening an iFAST account, I've put an affiliate link in the description box below, so if you'd like to support myself and the channel, then please consider using it when opening the account. If you're running a team, iFAST gives you proper payment approval controls. So what I mean by that is you could set up approvals for a single user payment, or you could have two. For example, you could have one person inputting the payment details, then another checking it, and then a final boss signing it off. And for companies moving serious amounts of money, I think that's a big deal because, it's going to reduce fraud and errors, and it really makes iFAST feel a lot closer to a traditional banking platform than a lightweight fintech app. And I think the next obvious question then is, what happens if something goes wrong with iFAST? Because moving large sums of money can be daunting, and being able to get hold of someone quickly if something does go wrong is very important. So I went ahead and properly tested their customer support. I mentioned that earlier during onboarding I was using email, but they also have 24/7 chat and phone support. And I contacted the in-app chat, and I did this at around 13:52, and I received a human response at 13:56. At least the response felt pretty human, so the chat support did extremely well. The phone support, well, that was an even more interesting test. Our current position is 1. I don't know what to expect. Am I going to get someone live? So this has just told me that it seems that I've been waiting a while. Continue waiting in the call, or request a callback, or engage with AI chat support. Let's request a callback. It's only been a couple of minutes. I had to quickly jump back on here, but this pop-up just appeared on my screen. I'm going to click allow.
Hello, thank you for reaching iFAST Global Bank. I'm Serene. How may I assist you today?
Oh, excellent. Okay, well, thank you very much for calling me back. I was having some difficulty accessing my account.
Okay, I understand, sir. Please hold a moment. Let me check the details for you. As I'm still pending the rent department for the response, please hold a moment.
Just realized I've got another call at 3. Is it possible to arrange a call back later?
Sure. Around what time, sir?
4 p.m?
Okay, sure.
Okay, it's 4 o'clock. I'm expecting a call back, but will it happen? Now that is the question. I will be very impressed. I'm not really sure how they're supposed to contact me. We've obviously been doing this through the desktop. Gone ahead and logged back into my iFAST account. I guess at this point it's just a waiting game. My phone is ringing. Look. Hello?
May I speak to Mr. Jonathan?
This is Jonathan, I'm speaking.
Hi, sir. I'm Serene calling from iFAST Global Bank.
Thank you for calling me back.
Just now you have called us for the authentication of the transaction. Have a good day, sir. Thank you. Goodbye.
Goodbye. I mean, it was maybe a minute late, that phone call. That is fantastic service. I've really got to give it to them. Given that the account is potentially free, that is a level of service that you would probably get with a paid account. Like, that's the kind of service that you'd expect when you have an account manager, where there's someone that's on speed dial, you have a direct number, or you can message and they'll call you back immediately. I'm getting that level of service for practically nothing. I'm really impressed with that. So the customer support was exceptional, at least in my experience, but no account is perfect, and there are definitely some trade-offs here. First, and for now, this is not a deeply integrated accounting platform like some digital business banks. So if your workflow relies on Xero or QuickBooks integrations, that's something to double check because iFAST is still in the process of rolling those out. Second, while the interface is secure and functional, it's more institutional than lifestyle. I know I've said that a few times, but what I mean is that you don't get 50 virtual cards, for example, with detailed spend limits that you would say Pleo or Spendesk. And finally, like any regulated bank operating internationally, compliance reviews can happen, and large or unusual transactions may require additional documentation. That's not unique to iFAST. It's simply the reality of modern anti-money laundering rules. And while they're rated excellent on Trustpilot, you will see the occasional complaint around account restrictions or closures, which again is common across banks operating cross-border. But the majority of the reviews that I've read focused on onboarding speed, multi-currency banking, and the competitiveness of their deposit rates. And that point about deposit rates is important because it tells you exactly who this account is really for. This fits businesses holding meaningful cash balances because earning over 3% inside a licensed UK business bank account is financially significant at today's rates. And to me, that's one of the core propositions of iFAST. Second, this makes sense for companies making larger international payments. If you're sending 50 grand to a supplier in Singapore or $100,000 to a manufacturer in the US, a flat £25 outbound SWIFT fee behaves very differently to percentage-based FX pricing. Third, this makes sense for international founders or non-resident directors who, people who may struggle with traditional high street banks, but they still want proper access to a UK banking license. So if this sounds like it could fit your business, then I've left the link below where you can learn more about iFAST, and also feel free to drop a comment if you have any questions. And if you found this video useful, or it's the kind of detailed breakdown you enjoy, then please subscribe for more business banking videos. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.